Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, Building a Smarter Lab, How Composable Apps Streamline Compliance and Productivity. My name is Jen Diamond, and I lead product marketing here at Tulip. I am joined by my colleague, Sebastian Lorendel, a digital transformation consultant. At Tulip, we help companies connect their workforce with connected apps that drive higher quality work, improved efficiency, and end-to-end traceability across operations. Today, we're going to discuss why labs need more than just paper-based processes, paper and glass solutions, or disconnected systems. We'll show how connected digital workflows can help guide and support lab technicians, allowing them to work faster and more effectively while ensuring adherence to standard operating procedures. Sebastian will walk us through a live demonstration of connected digital workflows in the lab using Tulip's frontline operations platform. We'll also share real-world examples of how Tulip is being used to transform laboratory operations. Operational agility and excellence are essential for labs to meet the ever-changing demands of modern research and production. Labs that lack adaptability struggle with painful transitions and suboptimal results. As processes grow more complex, labs require more sophisticated systems that offer flexibility. Shorter delivery times put pressure on teams to accelerate workflows without sacrificing accuracy or compliance. At the same time, integrating new technologies means balancing innovation with existing infrastructure and processes. Without the ability to adjust to shifting demands and priorities, labs risk inefficiencies, misaligned objectives, and wasted resources. Traditional lab operations are often siloed and rigid, making it difficult to achieve true operational agility. Many labs rely on inflexible systems such as LIMS or LES, which force them into rigid workflows and require manual workarounds to bridge functional gaps. For example, registering new reagents with unique characteristics isn't always straightforward in standard LIMS. Many labs also manage a wide variety of products with customer-specific requirements, and tracking these checklists manually can be chaotic, leading to missteps. LIMS platforms typically enforce fixed routing paths through tests, even when certain samples don't require all of them. With multiple disconnected systems, data silos emerge, preventing real-time insights and slowing decision-making. Updates are often logged only after work is completed, rather than as it happens, further delaying critical responses. By adopting a composable approach, labs can build solutions tailored to their specific needs, making it easier to adapt, to change, refine workflows, and remove friction. Composability brings agility, scalability, and a single source of truth. Instead of forcing a lab to conform to a system's limitations, a composable platform adapts to the lab's processes. This means labs can digitally transform their operations incrementally, deploying apps step by step rather than overhauling entire systems at once. With composable apps, labs can gain real-time visibility into sample status and location, ensuring greater traceability and efficiency. Buffer preparation can be error-proofed with digital work instructions and connected tools, reducing the risk of mistakes. Equipment management can be streamlined by tracking calibration, cleaning, and maintenance with real-time availability displayed on dashboards. By implementing connected digital solutions, labs can eliminate inefficiencies, improve collaboration, and drive continuous improvement, all without disrupting existing operations. I will now hand it over to Sebastian, who will demonstrate what this actually looks like in a real lab setting.
Thanks, Jen, and welcome everyone to our Tulip Experience Center. In this demo, we'll take advantage of Tulip applications to track the activities of several operators through the reception of sample, the execution of testing method, and then a review of those executions for a quality supervisor. Over here, we have a mock-up of a manufacturing workstation where Tulip is tracking activities and instructed our operator to collect a sample, serialize it, and this sample will now be received in our lab itself. Here in our lab, our teams can make use of a suite of applications to track and enforce our process throughout the execution of test method. Each lab operator can make use of our lab companion, mirrored on the screen here by a tablet. Upon reception of a new sample of material, I can make use of our sample reception application here. We can already see we have several samples we've received and that we're monitoring. On the left here, items that are pending reception. And on the right, we can see the actual storage of the existing and current sample we're working on. I'll be able to press the receive button and make use of the built-in camera here to track the actual sample. The Tulip application retrieves the details, and I can now confirm the reception of my sample, and it drives me to deliver it to the right location. I can now confirm the reception by using the same camera or a barcode scanner and press the button to confirm the reception. Materials are now received. A second application let us visualize all the received samples and the remaining activities. In this example on the screen, we can see a list of bulk samples, among them the one we just received, as well as aliquoted samples, splitted samples that are ready to be actually tested. In this case, we'll focus on our pH method sample. On the bottom here, I can select my pH sample that was aliquoted from a bulk sample received from the shop floor. I can see the details on the left here of the history and all the auditable and traceable information for this sample. And I can now execute the actual procedure. Pressing this button, I am redirected to the actual test method for the pH execution. First step requires me to acquire the equipment by scanning the actual barcode. Once again, I could make use of the camera in the device or use a barcode scanner. In this case, we can see our equipment is not calibrated and require our operator to go to the calibration step. This could be achieved by a maintenance team, but in this process defined here, we decided to let this activity performed by the operators themselves. Can now press the calibration step that takes me to work instruction with videos to perform the calibration and confirm the correct execution. Electronic signatures could be added to these steps as well. In this case, we decided to keep it simple and accessible to streamline the activities. The equipment is now calibrated and ready to be used, and we can see the acquire button is now enabled. Can acquire my equipment. At this time, the operation enforced by the Tulip applications asks me to go and collect the sample. I can now once again use the camera to scan the barcode. The application confirms that the correct sample has been picked. If a wrong barcode has been picked, like a notification could be sent, and these work instructions will not be displayed. Now at this point, we can see new videos showing up, work instruction defined specifically for this pH test method. We can see a red button at the bottom letting the operator manually report comments that can be tracked in the history and shared with quality supervisors. Can now move to the next step and here collect the actual result of my test. I will perform the test following work instructions and either manually input data inside the application or, in this case, collect the information directly from the equipment through direct integration to the equipment or via a middleware monitoring different devices. I can confirm my results here. And in this case, because the value is out of range, a deviation has been generated that will be reviewed by a quality team, and I can dispose of my sample. Last step is a review of the sample by a quality supervisor. Going through our approval application, I can now visualize the samples that are ready to be reviewed, select my sample here. We can see again the history record for the whole sample. We can see on the right deviations and comments, and in this case, our deviations results that we collected at this equipment. Quality supervisor can review the details, see all the information collected against this sample, and approve or reject the deviation. Entering their barcode using single sign-on, they will be able to confirm via an electronic signature. The sample is now ready to be fully released so that the data can be made available to our shop floor team. Can now sign electronically again. I'm now invited to dispose of the bulk sample, and like the full process from reception of our sample from our shop floor all the way to review has been completed. The data will now be exposed to the shop floor team to make decisions upon the rest of the execution. This was an example of how Tulip applications can be built to enforce your specific process across the lab operations. Now let's look at actual examples with existing use cases. In this example, a team of lab experts was able to build in a matter of a few weeks solutions to improve inventory tracking and enforce buffer preparation. They had two major issues. Inventory was scattered across different labs and maintained by their team and external team. Building Tulip applications helped enable the use of digital tools like cameras to help improve and enforce the collections of the right data in real time and make it visible across the teams. This enables better quality data and improve communication across the organization. Regarding buffer preparation, they were then able to build applications to enable their operators preparing buffers, making use of the inventory data, complementing it, but also enforcing the process and reducing data collection errors. In the second example, a large pharma company decided to deploy connected solution across the entire organization, multiple labs across the globe, with multiple systems connected or disconnected. Using Tulip, they were able to digitize method connected to a middleware systems to automatically connect equipment data and a LIMS systems to extract this data and expose it to the LIMS and the quality team. This improves the reduction in manual transcription of data, not having to go from paper, test paper, to a LIMS system, for example, doing everything through tablet or computer. Also enforce compliance by enforcing the process via Tulip applications, and will long-term improve the review by exceptions by allowing the supervisors and quality teams to access directly digital data and better digital data instead of going through paper again. Those two examples show once again how Tulip, using our lab operations solutions, can be used to help your lab operations team streamline the data collection, simplify their work, and expose better data, better collected data across the organization. And this concludes our demonstration. Back to you, Jen.
Thank you, Sebastian. If you're looking for a fast and effective way to accelerate transformation in your lab, explore our newly released Composable app suite for lab operations. This app suite includes a foundational set of apps along with an extension of our configurable data model. Designed for flexibility, these apps can be easily customized using Tulip's no-code app editor, allowing labs to deploy tailored digital solutions that enhance and streamline workflows. The app suite is composed of 3 core app suites: lab management, sample procedures, and instrument management. With these integrated workflows, labs can digitalize multiple processes on a single platform, whether deploying everything at once or rolling out solutions incrementally. By leveraging the Composable app suite, labs can boost efficiency with dynamic digital workflows and error-proofed digital guidance. Compliance is strengthened through built-in traceability, and automatic audit trails further enhanced with automation and device integrations. The app suite also provides flexibility to adapt to evolving needs, offering configurable apps and the ability to expand and build additional solutions as your requirements change. This concludes our presentation and demo. We'll now move over to the Q&A session. Please add your questions to the chat, and thank you very much for attending. All right, well, let's get started with the Q&A session. So you'll see on the right comments, so please add your questions there and we'll get to them. First question is, I already have a LIMS. Can I use the Composable MES or Composable Lab Ops app suite with this?
Yeah, definitely. So as you might have noticed in one of the use cases, we actually have customers who've taken advantage of this. So Tulip comes with what we call our connector framework that will actually let you build integrations to existing LIMS system. Tulip's objective is really to work with your current ecosystem, try to fit into the gaps if there are, or augment those existing systems. So definitely something that's doable and even recommended if possible.
All right, do we need to be able to code to implement apps in Tulip?
So Tulip is a no-code platform. Frontline, talk about the frontline operation platform. So the idea that you actually don't need to write any line of code. You will be able to start with the applications that are available in the library. We just showed an example of the different features of the library and different applications already available, and download them into your own instance and then configure them. So using drag and drop and building logic in a no-code way. So the idea is that also here, this is going to be very accessible. So even accessible to lab technicians, process engineers who will be able to build exactly the process they need with the Tulip applications, right? Instead of customizing a complex solution with code, this is really what we want to avoid here and make it really fitting to your specific requirements.
And the apps in the library come with Composable data models underneath them that you can adjust and adapt to fit your own operations. So you don't have to deal with a rigid one that you have to kind of adjust to to fit. Rather, it's like you can add to it and adjust it over time.
Exactly.
And then question here, how easy is it to connect instruments to Tulip?
So there's multiple ways of integrating Tulip to instrumentation. Tulip comes with a set of like edge drivers, and they're actually documented in our library. So feel free to go to tulip.co/library. You'll see our lab operations overview there. You'll also be able to see the drivers that can be really plugged inside Tulip. There are other ways to integrate. We do also have serial drivers for like a lot of scales do support serial, for example. Also, by APIs, we'll be able to integrate to third-party systems that might be already collecting instrumentation. So we're seeing this a lot in labs too, where teams are trying to aggregate all the data via one system. And then also we support some industrial protocols that's maybe less used in a lab, but we also see some value of this, like the same protocol we use for like more manufacturing shop floors, like MQTT and OPC UA. So there's a breadth of ways, and the last piece is also our edge devices themselves that can be used for like maybe more legacy systems. So many different ways to connect. I don't know if there's anything that you want to.
No, I think that you covered most of it. All right, and then question here is, can you share the recording? Yes. So we are recording this, and it'll be posted on our website, tulip.co, and also sent out to attendees. All right, I think that might be it for questions. We'll wait like 30 more seconds, and then we can kind of wrap up.
Yeah, I hope that was useful. So as a summary, really like our lab operations is meant to be a way to really build the solutions you need. So based on our library, but then you'll be able to augment it with specific use cases and really bridge gaps, bridge silos, and digitalize the process, right? So we know there's a lot of paper today around the lab spaces. The processes are very complex, so actually difficult to digitalize with traditional solutions. So with Tulip, you can take a different approach, really taking your paper process and digitalizing based on your specific requirements.
Perfect. All right. Well, with that, there's no more questions. So thank you very much for attending, and we hope you found this useful. Yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.